The cult of personality.
Greetings, every peoples. This is your cult of personality speaking. ToonKritic's the name, and Toon's the name of my game. And yes, 'tis the season at last. Happy holidays, whatever you guys celebrate. Merry Christmas. So I know while some of you were all binging Star Wars because of Force Awakens last week, I'd like to bring people's attention to a tradition we all love during the holidays. Christmas specials. From the ones we all watch to the ones we don't give enough credit to, this special today is here to highlight some of the best from the past. And I'm not going to do it alone. I brought 11 other people here to talk about their favorite Christmas movies. 12 people? 12 movies? Let's go!
Hello, every pony! I am Lightning Bliss, and I happen to remember my first Christmas special. It was essentially that, a Christmas special short that was aired on Disney some years back when I was 5 years old, or younger, because for all I know, this cartoon was even older than me. All it is a short musical about a young couple having a lovely day together on the ice. Fortunately, the lady in our tale sadly falls on the ice, and her spouse kind of just laughs at her and stuff and doesn't really bother to help her up. As an ending result, she stomps off, being accompanied by a cute little bunny in the process, who's basically mimicking the tale of our two people here. Unfortunately, she walks off onto thin ice, and it's up to her lover and the other animals surrounding in the story to save them. What I really love about this short is that it's all expressed through music and animation alone. No vocals, no special acting, just the music and the animation. Not to mention, it warms my heart to see the love and affection and hope of rescuing our heroes as they brave the cold winter ice to save their loved ones. One of the best Christmas shorts I've ever seen, and look forward to seeing more of it.
Alrighty then, and Merry Festivus. First things first, I do not have a favorite Christmas movie. In my appraisal, they are all terrible, each one a middling chore through which to sit, and of which to confess one has a favorite is like ranking the penguins from Madagascar in order of sexiness. I know these things are supposed to make me happy, but I only ever end up feeling frustrated and dirty. So no, paint me green and cast me with Jim Carrey. I'm not a fan. If, however, there is a silver lining to the buttock-shaped cloud that is Hollywood's fascination with the season, it'd have to be something that you really couldn't call a genuine Christmas movie. There's no Santa, no talking mice or elves or cartoons, etc., and in much the same way that some other cheeky scamp in this video has probably already chosen Die Hard as the ultimate and only real Christmas movie, unless I'm mistaken and they haven't, in which case I choose Die Hard. Humbly, I submit 1988's Scrooged with Bill Murray, a fun reimagining of Charles Dickens' Christmas Carol, which, along with its clever, self-aware reincorporation of the premise, features a modern-ish reworking of the protagonist, illustrating that traumatic supernatural intervention is not just for crusty 19th century misers. This could happen to you, kids! So be nice, okay? It's also got Bill Murray being mean to Bobcat Goldthwait, and if you don't think that's funny, then you don't deserve Christmas. Speaking of which, and for everyone else, have a very merry one and a happy new year.
My favorite Christmas special has got to be the South Park Woodland Critter Christmas special. I must have been about 14 years old when I first watched it. To this day, that special still makes me laugh because it had all those stereotypical things that you would see in those cartoon Christmas specials, and then when you're about 1/3 or halfway through the episode, everything just turns on its head, and then like the critters are worshiping Satan, they want to bring 1,000 years of darkness to all the land and all this crazy stuff. And now Stan has to go and kill the animals that he was asked to help in the first place. Meanwhile, the narrator is just moving the story along like there's nothing wrong with it, and Stan is just arguing back and forth with the narrator, and it just makes for a really fun time. It's not for people who have like a sensitive sense of humor, but if you're an anything goes type of person when it comes to comedy, I'd say give this one a try. It will have you rolling.
When I had to decide what my favorite Christmas movie would be, my first instinct was to think if there was anything that I consistently watched year after year every Christmas. But I abandoned that line of thinking when I realized that the only quote-unquote movie that fit that criteria was all the Homestar Runner Decemberween shorts in succession. So instead I just decided to go for A Christmas Story. And I don't mean to downplay it when I say that I do genuinely love this movie. For me, the greatest thing about this movie is that while most Christmas movies try to have a bunch of fancy morals and it's all about giving instead of getting crap, A Christmas Story is simply a nostalgic tale about what it's like to be a child on Christmas. It's full of brilliant moments of kid logic, everything from the various degrees of playground dares, to only caring about getting a certain present, to wishing that someday a punishment from your parents would cause you to go blind and then they would be so sorry they were ever mean to you. I find myself being able to relate to Ralphie in so many ways, and that's what makes this movie so much fun. Rather than trying to shove some silly namby-pamby moral down your throat, A Christmas Story just invites you to sit down and have a good laugh thinking about when you were younger. And that's lovely.
Hello everyone, this is the Voice of Reason, and I'm here to talk about my favorite Christmas movie of all time, Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas. You know, it's funny, when I was a kid growing up in the 90s, some of the Disney movies I grew up with always scared me. Aladdin's Abundant Use of Red terrified me. The Beast from Beauty and the Beast frightened me. And Great Mouse Detective's final scene gave me nightmares. When The Nightmare Before Christmas first aired on TV, I wasn't scared. Rather, I was fascinated by the world presented in front of me. The lanky figure of Jack Skellington, the contrast from Christmas Town to Halloween Town, the chipper and jovial attitude despite a bleak and gothic atmosphere, I was sucked into this new world and style. What I remember most about this movie is the songs. This Is Halloween, Jack's Lament, and What's This are all classics that I can break out and sing along to. Kidnapped Santa Claus, Poor Old Jack, and Sally's Lament still hold up to this day. Danny Elfman made my Christmas time that much more special. But what makes it more special now than back when I first watched it all those years ago was realizing how timeless it is. When I look at a Christmas movie aimed at kids that came out in the 2000s, I can see how dated they got. I used to love Elf, but now the movie has become less charming and more annoying. With A Nightmare Before Christmas, I don't get that. The story is so simple that I can pick it up and watch it at any time. It's a Christmas classic that I will never grow tired of watching.
I would have to say my favorite Christmas movie would have to be Home Alone 2. Because, like, I really did like the first Home Alone. That was a really good movie. But, like, the second movie just had a lot more heart to it. Because you had the friendship between Kevin and the homeless lady whose name escapes me at the moment. But, like, that... Like, every interaction that they had in the last half of that movie was just fantastic, and it was really, really good there. And the traps that Kevin set for the burglars, since it was the sequel, it had to be bigger, and they went bigger, and they did a really good job with that. And it was just a lot of fun. There was a lot of laughs. There was a lot of heart, and I just really, really liked Home Alone 2. So, yeah. Also, Die Hard was really good. But I don't know if that technically counts as a Christmas movie. I think it kind of does, but I have a machine gun, ho ho ho. But either way, Home Alone 2 or Die Hard.
Greetings, every pony! Keyframe here. Now, if you're looking for a holiday film that doesn't shove stockings and reindeer in your face, this is the film for it. Wacko's Wish. Now, it may be a goofy movie to put for Christmas, but when you look at the moral and the sheer joy the Animaniacs bring in this flick, it's perfect for the holiday season. It's all about keeping your head up high and smiling even when the world is beating you down. It gives you laughs, warm fuzzies, and even a few tears. This is a great movie for any Animaniacs fan, and for the whole family. Oh, come on. If Die Hard can be in this video, so can this. Happy holidays, and remember, you got chin up, and never give up hope.
A Charlie Brown Christmas, while being a special and not really a movie, has been a well-celebrated piece of media that's been aired on CBS for at least 50 years, and it's my pick for my favorite Christmas movie, or lack thereof. While a commonly known special, the thing that makes me appreciate A Charlie Brown Christmas is its historical background and its theming that the history behind the production provides to help stand out more deservingly to the crowd. On the surface, it stems away of what could have been a romanticized depiction of Christmas like many other specials. Instead of being overly cheery and loud, it's a much more mellow yet peaceful presentation while addressing the conflict of the meaning behind Christmas, the Bible references, and the marketing behind the holiday. Charlie Brown deals with the negative and pessimistic personalities of himself in trying to find happiness and understanding of the holidays. In doing so, he gets help to take hold of a director for a stage play. Things still go as planned, so he's sent out to pick a tree at a shop for the play. What he finds and picks is a tree that is very weak, yet the most natural compared to others, which is hollow aluminum. However, because of its weak condition, he's then ridiculed by the other kids after bringing it back. Charlie then asks about the meaning of Christmas. This then leads to one of the most iconic scenes, Linus reciting a few lines from the Bible. These moments show the two sides regarding the meaning. Truth be told, Peanuts creator Charles M. Schulz fought with the network to make sure that everything was done the way he wanted his comics to be brought to life in. They originally planned on making the special like many others, where the musical numbers were more zealous and upbeat, and the children were going to be voice acted by adults. On top of that, they never wanted to include Linus' spotlight, as religious tones were very restrictive on TV in the 60s. Charles struggled through everything to the point where he threatened to have his work cancelled and no longer allowed his work to be handled by any other networks in the future. As a result, his work became a success of what he wanted, and very much so as it's well received. It's a simple yet deep story behind what goes on, with jazz songs that are fitting for its own creation, and it stands as my own personal favorite Christmas special.
If you were to ask me, what is your favorite Christmas movie? I'd likely respond with, why are you making me choose between my children? But if I had to answer, and I thought about what people would be most interested in hearing, I'd probably say The Snowed In at the House of Mouse is certainly one of my favorites. What I loved about The House of Mouse back when it was on the air was that it was a great mix of old and new. You could revisit those old shorts you'd almost forgotten about, as well as seeing some shorts that are from more recent years, as well as seeing some of your new and old Disney characters. There was a bit of a problem in the show in that it had a bit of an uncanny valley vibe in a lot of the acting and animation, and that was a problem that annoyed me a bit, but mostly I did love just being able to revisit all of the shorts that I loved so much, and this special is no exception. It starts off with a remake of an old Donald Duck and Huey, Dewey, and Louie cartoon, then comes up with a really old Mickey Mouse cartoon that I think was even back in the days when Walt Disney still voiced Mickey Mouse. It has many other segments, such as one about Pluto and Mickey decorating their house, although that is cut short for the sake of time, and it also has a version of the Nutcracker hilariously narrated by John Cleese. But of course, what tops this all off is, of course, it ends with Mickey's Christmas Carol, one of the best adaptations of A Christmas Carol to date, really. Even though it's so short, it really does get the spirit behind it, and is certainly better than that other Disney Christmas movie. While of course it has flaws like all things do, I think it is a worthwhile piece of work, even if it's just a vessel to see Mickey's Christmas Carol at the end.
I have a deeply rooted love of Christmas, and there are countless specials like A Charlie Brown Christmas and The Year Without a Santa Claus that I watch with my family every December. But if I had to choose just one Christmas movie to be my absolute favorite, there could be no other than the Dr. Seuss classic, How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Dr. Seuss books were a huge staple of my childhood, and when his poetic rhyming and genuine charm are put to film, you get this piece of awesome. As the title suggests, it stars the Grinch, who is a fantastic protagonist. We all know he's not the good guy, but he just enjoys being a conniving jerk so much that it makes him really fun to watch. I love how he could easily just walk into whose houses, take everything, and then leave, but he decides to have fun with it, doing things like making wind-up toys march straight into a bag or trick-shining ornaments off the tree. And of course, in the end, he learns that the true spirit of Christmas is about what's in your heart, not what's under your tree, and it's easily the most beautiful moment in the entire film. Then of course you've got the music and animation, which are really atmospheric and set the Christmassy tone of the movie perfectly. The Welcome Christmas reprise at the end is absolutely beautiful to both look at and listen to. And of course scenes like the Grinch's stealing montage are about as much fun as you'd think they would be. Even to this day, I still crack up at that segment when the Grinch and Max are sledding down to Whoville. Just goes to show the slapstick can be really funny if done right. And yes, we have the brilliant rhymes of the Doctor himself to keep the story moving. And as someone who adores the original book and just rhyming in general, I wouldn't have it any other way. Overall, this is one of those movies that is just filled to the brim with Christmas wonder. Everything from the colorful animation to the unforgettable songs to the heartwarming ending makes this an irreplaceable holiday staple in my eyes. I know that for years to come, people will still be enjoying this timeless classic as we celebrate Christmas heart to heart and hand.
Favorite Christmas movie? Do I look like a holiday-spirited horse to you? Nah, I'm a regular old grumpy grump. I haven't seen my favorite Christmas-themed movie in years, you know? Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, the one that's the stop-motion animation. We had it on VHS, and I'd watch that silly tape every single year. I loved stop-motion animation when I was a kid. Gumby and all that good stuff. So the Rudolph movie fit right in. Well, that and Mr. Bill's Christmas special, where Mr. Bill's dog gets put in a blender and made into eggnog. Eggnog will never be the same. Besides the animation, part of the reason I liked Rudolph so much was simply because of the story. Nerd children like me always felt better when the story was about a misfit who turned out to be awesome, and everybody loved him because of their misfitness. The reindeer team needed Rudolph's glowy red nose. Ha! Take that, you suckers! And the elf gets to be a dentist, and all the misfit toys on Misfit Island get homes at the end of the movie. Ah, how sweet. It's really just a feel-good movie. I don't think anything ends unhappily for anybody at the end. Everybody's happy, right? Right. Well, let's just ignore the blatant reindeer racism in the middle of the movie. Nobody wants to play with Rudolph just because he's got a red nose. That's so ridiculous. It's not like Rudolph's got a massive tumor growing out of his eye or he's pure white or anything so unseemly as that. It's about the same as if his doe friend painted her hooves red. Oh my gosh, now we can't play with her because she wears hoof polish. I remember all of the songs in the movie, too. That's how much I watched it. The songs are ingrained in my mind, even though I haven't seen it in years, I still remember them. I'm sure somebody else is going to mention Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, so that's all I've got to say. Now, if you don't mind, I've got some presents to deliver. Namely, your presents. Delivered to someone else.
Finally, for me, it was hard to narrow down one movie choice. My obvious pick is, of course, Die Hard, one of my all-time favorite Christmas movies that I didn't even realize was a Christmas movie, but I guess it is technically? What else is the Christmas spirit than guns, America, and Bruce Willis? Everyone knows this movie. It's legit, it's incredible, and it does have a bit of an Xmas message to it. A little bit of a, Christmas spirit, if you will. This is a movie about a guy who's willing to run and gun down a terrorist group just so he can celebrate the holidays with his ex-wife. That is dedication right there. It's a classic 80s action movie, and my pick for favorite Xmas movie on here. So, I hope you guys all enjoyed this little video. Let us know your favorite Christmas movies in the comments below. Like, comment, subscribe, Twitter, Patreon, all that good stuff. Go to subscribe to everybody that has been in this video. And with that being said, I am the Toon Critic, keeping you totally tuned for your entertainment. Happy holidays, and Merry Christmas.